Hello everyone, welcome back. We are working with symbols today, which is something that is not a common tool. We're gonna be using the symbol sprayer. And so if you haven't used the symbol sprayer before and you wanna learn how to use it, stick around. It's gonna be a good time, and we will be working in 3D today as well. Hi, I'm Andrew Hochradel, nice to meet you. Let's go ahead and hop in. If you want this source file to work alongside me, you can grab it down in the description. Right down below me in the description of the video, there is a link to the source file, as well as some relevant links for you to join our Discord to get some feedback. So let's hop in here and start talking about symbols. More importantly, the symbol sprayer. So we're gonna kind of create a fall scene today. We'll be doing some 3D, and I'm gonna show you how to use a symbol sprayer as applied to 3D, but first I wanna talk about what it is and what it does. So the symbol sprayer is over here. And the reason that you may have used the symbol sprayer is you may have tried to scale something and hit Shift S instead of S, right? And it gives you this, and you try to click, and then it's like, please select, and you're like, oh no, I meant to scale something using S. So that's probably, this box is the only thing that you're probably familiar with the symbol sprayer, but it's a very powerful tool. So let's hit OK, and I'm gonna show you how to set up a symbol. Now, I do want to do a kind of fall scene here. So let's go ahead and just drop in a background, just using M there to grab the rectangle tool. And we're gonna make this kind of a really dark brown, right? Give it that nice kind of earthy dark brown fall feel. So from here, we are going to use our symbols panel. And your symbols panel will probably have a couple random things in it. But usually the symbols panel just doesn't have anything in it. You can find libraries that are pre-populated if you don't want to create your own. Some of them are really fun. So if you come to like communication, it's going to give you all of these different symbols right here. We can do a large list view, and that's going to show us right here. So you can change the view of how you want to see things. And it's really fun to just go in here and click to see what these are. So select one of them, it will add it over to your symbols library. And from there, you can grab your brush and just click once, and it's going to apply that. So you can see there's a lot of like really cool art. And these are symbols that you can use in kind of whatever. Let's see what this one is here. Again, just grabbing the symbol brush and clicking, and it will add one in. So really fun to use these as kind of icons. They're fully styled, fully kind of integrated graphics. But what I'm gonna look for is I'm gonna look for kind of nature vibes, right? I want something that has some leaves. So you can come into here, and there are a bunch of different options. So I can come in, and there is a nature section. So I'm gonna open nature, and there we go. We've got some rocks, we've got some different leaves. So first off, let's go ahead and add some rocks here. And with our rock selected over here in the symbols panel, we can go ahead and just grab the symbol sprayer and click and drag. And you can see that it's adding those rocks right there, and it just repeats what each of those rocks are. So this symbol sprayer tool is similar to like a repeat brush or even a scatter brush, but I like using the symbol sprayer because you have additional tools that can do things that brushes can't. Okay, so let's do this. Let's leave those rocks there, and let's go ahead and just add some leaves. Let's find our panel with nature. Is that nature? Nope, those are flowers. There we go. Here's nature. So I'm gonna grab the leaf right here. This is a good little maple leaf. Grab our symbol sprayer, and then I'm just gonna spray a bunch of these. And I can use the brackets to make this larger or smaller. So I'm gonna click and drag and just kind of add a bunch of leaves here to kind of mess around with the ground. And what I can do is I can actually use some additional tools. So I'm gonna go ahead and just spray in kind of top to bottom so that we have them all over the place. And it doesn't matter if we have full coverage, this is still looking good, because what I can do is I can come in here, and if you click and hold on the symbol sprayer tool, there are all kinds of different options. So we have symbol shifter, scruncher, sizer, spinner, stainer, screener, styler. We'll go through each of those. The first is going to be the symbol shifter tool. So let's say that we want to kind of follow a flow. We can use the symbol shifter tool. This is going to help us kind of use the wind. You can see we can kind of click and drag these, and they will almost mesh to where we want, right? You can see that they're kind of just clicking and dragging around as we move those. So this is why doing a scatter brush probably wouldn't be the best option for this, because we wouldn't have this kind of kind of customization options. We'll do that. So from here, we also can use other different pieces of the symbol sprayer using the symbol scruncher. So these are going to pull them in to a certain point. So as I click here, it should pull these in. Oops, let's go ahead and select that. I don't know why it's not pulling them. So the symbol scruncher will pull them into a point. I'm not sure why it's not, but if you have symbols, it will pull them into wherever you're clicking. The symbol sizer is going to, as I click and hold on it, is going to increase the size. So this is really great, and it's doing it incrementally. So if you have it on the edge, it will do it less. If you have it in the center, it will do it more. So this is a great way to get kind of randomized shapes, is to kind of click around, and it will help you to scale differently so that you can have a little bit of a different look. And again, if you hold Alt or Option, you can actually take those back down so they become smaller, so you can have a little more variation. So the next tool that I want to show you here in the symbol sprayer is the symbol spinner tool. And this is what we're going to be using a lot today to kind of create this fall scene. Is with all these leaves, we can click and drag, and it's going to kind of randomize the way that they're turning, right? So you can see there, as I pull them a different direction, right? You can see those arrows. Those arrows are going to help me kind of randomize the way that these are moving. So as I grab that symbol sprayer and kind of click, it's going to randomize and go in the direction that I am pulling them. So if I want to kind of pull them in different directions, you can go between these, right? And just kind of click and drag so it feels like they're randomized. We're already there. It's already feeling a little bit more random. We also can use the symbol stainer tool. And this is going to be something that we are going to use today to kind of create some variation. So maybe we want to add some more orange in here. Using the symbol stainer tool, we can grab a color, and then as we go over these, it's going to stain those. And you can see if we click and hold on the center, it will really make it that color. But if we kind of just do the fringes, it'll just add a little bit of subtle color on the edges there. So this is something great. Oops. This is something that we can use to kind of add just a little bit of extra fun and some diversity in our leaves. Let's add a little bit more of that orange here. And I'm going to bring my brush down, and that will allow me to get a little more variation on these leaves. There we go. Looking pretty good. So it is changing these actual colors of the vectors. Once we expand, we'll show you, but this is pretty much like painting in color with Photoshop, right? I need some more green over here. Oops, I did orange. Let's go ahead and just add a green leaf right there. All right, so you can play around and kind of create this nice fall scene, looking great. There also are different features here for the screener tool. Screener tool is just going to make it so that they're a little more opaque. So as I go over it, it is going to change the opacity of those shapes. This will be helpful if you're trying to create some dimension. Today, we're not going to really use it because we want to create this kind of fall scene. So I'm going to delete these rocks down here just because we don't need those symbols. And we have all of our leaves here. And the last one that we could do is the symbol styler tool. I'm actually not going to use this. And will that work on any vectors or just symbols? This will only work on symbols. They are dynamic symbols. And I'm going to show you how to kind of create your own symbols in just a second. And that question, sorry if I just said something, that question was from our live chat. If you have not joined us before, this is a live stream. Hello, replay watchers on YouTube. We are a live stream, behance.net/Adobe Live every day at 11:30 a.m. if you want to join us for a live chat and have your questions answered. Also, if you have questions, leave them in the comments down below. All right, let's go ahead, and the symbol styler tool we're not going to use today. I actually have very small use case for this, but what this is going to do is it basically will apply a graphic style. So if you have a graphic style that you've created, it will apply it to the shapes that you drag it over. So I don't really find a lot of use case for it because I'm usually looking to randomize stuff here, but that's what it does. All right, so let's go ahead and create some different pieces. A different composition here. And I want to create kind of a party look. So I'm going to drag this. We love our scene. That looks really good. And you can see here, look at how much randomization we got. And this is all vector. If we want to expand it, we just right click and we can go ahead and go to object and expand. It's going to expand those into shapes so that we can go in here and now we have all those shapes, right? If we want to ungroup them, they are still symbols. So if we double click in, it will change that symbol and be applied to all instances, right? So check this out. If we don't like the stem, it is still a linked symbol, which is kind of fun. So we'll hit OK and it will come into this core symbol, right? This is where we started. And I don't like the stem. So I'm just going to grab the eraser tool and I'm going to erase it here. And once I click out, you'll see that it's applied that to every single one of our symbols. Oh, it didn't apply it to the other symbols. Not sure why it didn't apply it to the other symbols, but the symbols are still there. If we wanted to, we could expand them one more time, hit OK, and now they are just full vectors. So we can unlink them. They will be linked if you keep them together. So we can unlink them into vectors, and that's where we can kind of create some custom symbols, even if we wanted to add more symbols and use them there. So let's go ahead and create a kind of party look. And we are going to do this one in 3D because why not? There's no rules here. So I'm going to grab a just blue background right here. And then I want to create kind of a party cone, almost like the emoji that has some confetti coming out of it. So we could do a scatter brush, but I'm going to use the symbols because I want to use the stainer. And I also want to use like the size variations to create that kind of confetti look. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cone, and this is going to be super easy. What we're going to do to make a cone is I'm going to just revolve a triangle. So I might only want one side of the triangle, but let's see what happens. So let's go ahead and make a white triangle. I'm just going to use the scale tool to scale this up into a kind of nice trumpet horn. I don't know what you'd call that. I like the emoji into a party explosion thing. We are going to revolve it. Party cone. Yes, cone of shame. Thank you. And there we go. All right. So left edge. Let's try the right edge. All right. That's not quite what I want. Maybe the angle. All right. Let's go ahead and just use half of this. So I'm going to delete these anchor points on either side. There we go. And that's going to give us more of what I'm looking for. So we do have this revolution now, and you can see as I click and drag, it is the party cone that we want it to be. And let's go ahead and find the angle that we want it to be at, maybe right there. Actually, let's do off-axis front and see if that's good. No, not quite. All right, let's go ahead and rotate this to where we like it, right there. All right, so that looks good to me. And from here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to uncap the end. And that's going to allow us to see inside. Now, we can't see it really well right now, but when I change the lighting, you'll be able to see. Let's go ahead and change the height so we can see if it goes inside a little bit more. So you can see the inside right there, giving us a little bit more definition. And I think if I move it around here, we can see probably a little more of that lighting definition. Where do we need to go? Right, let's do there, and then let's change the rotation to be maybe right there. There we go. So you can see now we have a little bit more of that kind of definition in the center. Now we want to map some art, and this is going to get a little bit crazy, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create kind of a very large art. So I want to create a kind of swirl here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do nice little red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So we have all of our shapes right here, and I'm going to create this fairly large because I'm going to be kind of messing around with the way that I want it to look. We are going to go to Effect, Warp, and we'll just do a flag on this, and it's just going to give us a little bit of a wonkiness to it. And maybe we go like that, right? Maybe we go here too. No, that's too much. So I just want a fun kind of wonkiness to this shape. I'm going to expand this, object expand, and then drag it into our 3D panel. So from here, I can't, drag it into our 3D panel. There we go. From here, I can grab my shape and I can click on the graphic right there. This is going to look a little bit crazy, but I'm going to drag it around a little bit and see if we can get maybe just on the outside, or maybe we get it kind of wrapped into not exactly what I want. Let's go ahead and leave it. But we are wrapped into that party cone. If I put a lid on this, it actually would help maybe a little bit to show the illusion, but we'll go ahead and leave it here for now because I do want to show you how to create your own scatter brush, or sorry, your own symbol brush. So let's go ahead and just create a circle using L, and creating that circle right there. What we're going to do is we are going to make this a color. So I'm just going to make it hot pink for now. And from there, we are going to go to our symbols panel, and we'll just hit the plus right here. And the plus is going to do a new symbol. We are going to do this new symbol as confetti. Then we will go ahead and change it to graphic and make it a static symbol. We're going to hit OK here, and now you can see that we have our symbol, which is also added to our graphics right here. We're going to grab our symbol sprayer brush, and this is where we're going to create our confetti. So we're going to click and drag and kind of just make this confetti all over, right? There's a lot of confetti that's happening. But what's great is we can use some of our other tools to really customize this confetti. So let's click on the symbol shifter and maybe spread these out just a little bit. Right, and it's just, I wanted to do confetti because I wanted to show you how easy it is to kind of just spread these out. And maybe they're on the ground, right? Maybe they're not necessarily coming from the shape exploding. Maybe there's something that's more on the ground. And again, we can just use the shifter to move them around the ground. This is really great to create a little more of that scatter effect with a bit more control, right? It's almost like just kind of liquefying the piles or just moving it around with your finger. All right, so we have that. Now I want to definitely give this a little bit of a different size. So using the symbol scruncher, and you'll see it here, right? See the symbol scruncher, how it's pulling things in to that area? That's what the scruncher does. So I'm gonna shift those just one more time. It wasn't working the other time, so I want to show you what it does at least. So from there, we're going to use the symbol sizer tool, and this is gonna give us a little bit of variation. So I'm gonna make this pretty large. And you can see I can kind of just click around here to randomize and then hold Alt or Option, and it's going to shrink these down. So I'm going to do that and kind of just click around, and I'm just double clicking or really just kind of clicking haphazardly. And it's going to give us all those different sizes to allow us to have a lot more kind of sporadic look to these shapes. So if there's overlap or there's pieces that you don't want, that's fine. We can actually mess around them after the fact. So from there we have it. Now we need to add some color. We're going to do the symbol stainer tool, and the symbol stainer tool is going to allow us to add some really fun color to our confetti. So I'm going to go in here and we are going to do maybe some red confetti, and we can just click and drag, and it is going to change the different hues of that confetti, right? So this is going to give us a really diverse and kind of different look to our confetti. And this is similar to doing freeform gradients. If you've worked with freeform gradients before, it is very similar, but it's just a little bit more controlled. And as we click, you see that it adds more and more of that color. And so we can really come up with some fun stuff. Let's do some bright red over here. And the more you click, the more it adds in that color for you to kind of incorporate different looks. All right, so we've got a lot of different color going on here in our confetti, looking kind of good. And what's great is if you're working with symbols, they do function as one entire piece, right? So let's say that we wanted all this confetti to look like it was kind of coming out of the wall, right? And let's go ahead and delete this in the background, and let's go and add happy birthday to the back. So I'm just going to use this as 3D type real quick. There are other tutorials and lessons about how to create this 3D type, so I'm just going to do it very quickly. We're going to pick our font, and we are going to do extrude and go to off-axis front right there. Give it a little more depth, not too much. Let's make it yellow on this background. So we've got our type here, and then we want our confetti to kind of move around. Now the confetti is going to still stay live as a symbol, but we're going to convert it to 3D. So let's go ahead and extrude it. And again, we're just going to do off-axis front. We've got these nice little pieces on the edge. And let's go ahead and maybe move things out a little bit more. And again, we can do that using our symbol panel right here, using the symbol shifter. I can just click and drag, and it's going to continue to move these symbols so we have a little more of that variation, right? It is re-rendering that 3D, and again, keeping everything in 3 dimensions so that we don't have to worry about expanding. We don't have to worry about re-rendering it all. It is keeping it all at that off-axis front and creating those fun, those kind of fun variations. Now, if we want to, with these symbols, right now they are all filled with pink. And yes, someone in our live chat is saying apply a pucker effect to the confetti. That would be crazy, but yes, we could. We're going to do it. But what we can do right here is I can actually set this to white, and it will help with the colors. It didn't really do a huge change there, but it will help with the colors initially if we do it before to really make those more vibrant. So let's go ahead and see if we can change these symbols a little bit. Let's see what happens if we apply a pucker. We'll do distort and transform, go to pucker and bloat. And I don't think, it's not going to make a huge difference on those symbols. But if I wanted to create a new symbol very easily, I could come in here and draw my circle. This is a great way to create stars. Go to Effect, Distort and Transform, Pucker and Bloat. And then we're just going to pucker that in just a little bit, and check that out. We have a nice star. So super simple, super easy way to create those stars. I'm going to actually try this. Okay, I didn't think. Oh, it did. It works. Okay, I just didn't have the right settings on. So now we've created these stars. And again, it is keeping the symbol the same, but it's changing every variation of that symbol, right? So when we went in there and we changed this shape, right, with this selected, really we're just editing this symbol, which is one shape. We're going to Effect, Distort and Transform, and we go to Pucker and Bloat. And we can see that as it renders, as we change this, it is rendering it into those gorgeous stars. And it's changing all of them while keeping our 3D effects, while keeping our brushes, while keeping our colors, all of that. So maybe we want a little bit more of a star look. Again, we can come in here again and just grab the symbol stainer tool, grab that yellow, and then come over and just stain in a little bit more of that yellow. And what's great is it really gives us some variation on that color to create some cool gradients and different looks. All right, so let's go ahead and scale this down just a little bit. And from here, this is too much. We're just gonna put that right there. I'm going to center everything on this artboard, and then we're going to add in some shadows. So let's start in the background, do lighting. I'm gonna do top left and see what happens. Turn on the shadows, and that looks not too bad. Let's not do right. Let's do standard. That looks pretty good to me. So standard looks pretty good to me. I do want these to be brighter so I can increase the intensity. And then we can go ahead and turn on our ray tracing. And someone in our live chat again is adding in some bevel. Why not? So let's bevel those stars to make them really, really sharp. We'll take the width up quite a bit and take the height. That's too much. All right, so now we have those stars looking very beveled in 3D. And again, as we change one, it will change them all. Let's go ahead and turn on our ray tracing so we can get a high quality render. We're gonna render this, and again, we're working with one symbol here. Just one symbol, and as we change that symbol, it will apply to everywhere that that symbol has been applied. Even if we're working on different artboards, it will apply that symbol to everything. So as we edit that symbol, there we go, there's our ray tracing. And from here, I'm just gonna trace out this type as well. Let's change that lighting on the shadow. I believe we used the standard, so let's turn on some shadows, open up those shadow bounds a little bit, and then render. So we'll render out that type. We'll get a high quality render. Looks good. And then let's go ahead and take down the depth of these stars just a little bit by going in here and maybe taking into 10. Maybe it wasn't quite enough, but we're going to change it to 10 just for now because I do have to leave you. But thanks for joining me, and hopefully you learned something about symbols. Symbols, again, very, very helpful way to work complexly throughout your designs and create some really, really crazy stuff. So it's rendering here. Let's see what happens. Question mark. Cross your fingers. Rendering before, there we go. So here is our final render, looking great. We do have a typo that I'm just realizing in the last second, but that's what you get. It's a live show, y'all. All right, I will see you again, and it is still editable, so I could go in there and change that type, but we don't have time. Bye.